Think we're working. What is up, guys? Bills Mafia, Buffalo, New York. I am excited to be back. My name is Matt Parrino, and I am the new Bills beat reporter for NewYorkUpstate.com and Syracuse.com. I am super excited to start. I'm coming from Las Vegas. I moved my entire life here in a week. It was very impressive stuff. Just in time for training camp next week to start, and I couldn't be more excited. This right here is my first live chat. My first day was yesterday, and I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about who I am, where I've been, what I've been doing, and what I plan to bring to the beat. A little bit about me. I've been in Las Vegas, like I said, for 4 years. Grew up in Buffalo, spent the first 30 years here, and then took a job with the UFC, running UFC.com, and it was really an amazing experience. I mean, I got to work with a ton of phenomenal professional athletes. Fighters are there's so many unique stories. Growing up watching, the Bills and football and basketball, it's branching out to that sport was a really rewarding experience, and got to work some of the biggest events in UFC history. I was in Melbourne when Holly Holm knocked out Ronda Rousey. I was in MSG when Conor McGregor became the first ever double champ. And then I finished just a little over a week ago now at UFC 226 watching Daniel Cormier win the heavyweight championship, which was truly an amazing, amazing experience. I mean, that's a guy that, I have a ton of respect for. Big Buffalo Bills fan while he was fighting in Buffalo for UFC 210. But yeah, it was a great experience. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about the professional sports world and that big stage. And I'm excited to bring what I've learned there back to Buffalo and cover this team for this city. A little bit before that, I went to the University of Buffalo. That's where I really got my start in sports writing. I covered the UB Bulls football and basketball teams predominantly towards the end. Really a fun experience. Former Buffalo Bill, Joe Licata, Williamsville South grad. Got to cover him early on in his career. Good friends with my cousin. Cheap shout out here. Best point guard in Western New York basketball history, Mark Capola. So my roots in Buffalo go pretty deep. When I finished at UB covering those teams, I moved on to the Buffalo News for a summer. I got to intern on the business desk there before starting my professional career at the Tonawanda News, which is now no longer printing newspapers. It's not happening anymore. But it was an invaluable experience. I was thrilled to be able to cover high school sports in the region. Really got to experience the Western New York passion at the high school level, working with guys like Jonah Bronstein, who was the sports editor at the Niagara Gazette at the time, hired me along with Eric Duvall there. And then, working alongside Keith McShay, a guy who I have also a ton of respect for, really watching all the pros in this area over the course of my young career. And then from afar, from Las Vegas was pretty awesome. Yeah, so why am I back? I've gotten that question quite a bit. Buffalo is in my blood. I mean, I grew up here. Both, my family, my wife's family. I'm very passionate about this city. I joke with people pretty much every day that we were out in Vegas. My wife found a way to work in. Well, if we were in Buffalo, it would be blah 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 blah. And I always joked with her about that, but it's true. I mean, this place, it's hard to leave it, and you dream about coming back and the right opportunity to come back. And this position with this organization, NewYorkUpstate.com, Syracuse.com, is what really grabbed my attention. They're not interested necessarily in the same old coverage. They're not interested in everything that you guys maybe are used to getting. They want to bring you what you want. They want to venture into this new digital age. And you talk about the Bills Mafia. I mean, the most infamous fan base in all of sports. I'm pretty sure everywhere that I've gone in my travels, when it's come up that I'm from Buffalo, the first thing out of people's mouths is, "Oh man, have you ever gotten put in through a table?" And the answer is no. But I have a feeling that, being on this beat and getting to know a lot of you fans, I'll never rule it out. But I think that, with my experience at the UFC and a lot of the things that I've done from a writing and video perspective, I hope to bring a wealth of, energy, excitement, and work ethic and skill set to this position. I don't want it to be a secret. It's funny. I grew up a Bills fan, so it's a non-traditional media member, right? But somebody, I met a bunch of people at Syracuse.com, and one gentleman named John Lammers, who I really like a lot. He said, we kind of think of you as like a hybrid, somebody that really knows the passionate fan base here, kind of lived it. I mean, you talk about being a Bills fan. I know there's hundreds of thousands of people that have claimed to be there, but I actually was at the greatest comeback game of all time, and I was at the top of the bowl. My parents, I was there with my dad and my two uncles, and my dad and my one uncle were ready to leave at halftime. It was blowout. It was freezing. They wanted to get out. I think it was a little rainy, and me and my one uncle convinced him to stay. Well, we're not going. And at being at the top of the bowl, I'm so glad that we had those seats, because after halftime, we convinced them to stay. And when the touchdown started to happen, it was funny watching everybody pour over the fences to try to get back into the stadium. I mean, going back to that, I mean, then it was known, the Bills Nation was known as the 12th man, and it's kind of, evolved into this Bills Mafia, but it's all this same passion. And what I bring is that understanding of, who you guys are and what you guys like. But I also, at the same time, am a professional. I'm somebody that, has covered a lot of things, seen a lot of great things in sports, and that is something that was really enticing to me. The chance to come back and cover this team and potentially cover this team, make some history here. I mean, no one knows what a Super Bowl would mean to this city more than me. And so I would love to, be able to chronicle it for you guys. What else do we got here? Yeah, I'm excited about this season. I was in good friend of mine, Adam Hill. He is a reporter at the Las Vegas Review-Journal, the newspaper out there. Covers UFC and the Golden Knights this season. Diehard Bills fan, families from Hamburg, and we watched the last game of the season against the Dolphins and the Cincy game in one of the sports books out in Vegas, and watching him, the excitement, like just exuding from a Bills fan. I mean, it's really just amazing to watch. So you take that team, what happened last year, the just storybook run back to the playoffs, and then you fast forward to this season, and it's a whole new team. Improved defensively, I think. I think if you look up and down that roster, you look at Tremaine Edmonds coming in at that middle linebacker position, a lot of excitement around him. Secondary is one of the strong suits. They shored up that defensive line. The defense will be good, but what's everybody going to be talking about this year? The quarterback situation. I feel like it's always about the quarterbacks, right? So you go out and you get a Josh Allen. I think it's a great get for the Bills, right? And this guy is. I've seen comparisons to Ben Roethlisberger. I've seen some people say you can't make those comparisons, but I mean, if you look at it, the situation, there's a lot of similarities. I mean, third quarterback coming off the board. Same thing with Big Ben back in the day. Big, strong-armed, athletic quarterback, likes to throw on the run. A lot of similarities in what they like to do. And if you remember, back in that 2004 draft, it was the Bills missing out on Roethlisberger by a pick. This time they get their man, they get Josh Allen. A lot of the pre-draft scouting reports that I went back and looked at Ben Roethlisberger were some of the same concerns. I saw some accuracy concerns written about when he was here and or when he was coming up. So he's obviously proven to be a really excellent NFL quarterback, and it's going to be fun to watch Josh Allen. But that's the big thing going into camp, right? We're going to have a very close eye on Josh Allen, that quarterback competition. Will it be A.J. McCarron, Nate Peterman maybe winning the job out of camp? We will find out. But I'm very excited to go to my first training camp as a member of the media, meet all the guys on the beat, see what it's all about up close and personal, and bring you guys the coverage that you want. And one of the big things for me is I'm always going to be open to hearing from you guys what you want, what kind of coverage you want from camp, what do you want from inside the locker room. What stories can I tell of the fans? I mean, I think that's one of the most interesting parts of this beat is this passionate fan base, and no, I'm really looking forward to it. It's I'm going to be living in the Williamsville, Amherst area, but I'm going to be down in Orchard Park all the time. We're going to set up some events out at some local establishments so we can get together. I want to really get to know a lot of you. Shout out to Ryan Dez, a guy that's a big Daniel Cormier fan. I met him over the years, and a big Bills fan. Part of one of the biggest tailgates in Buffalo. I'm looking forward to getting to see up close and personal. So I want to meet all you guys. I want to hear all your stories. And this was just a little hello, and just to tell you how excited I am to join the Western New York media Bills family, and how glad I am to be representing NewYorkUpstate.com, Syracuse.com. I really hope you guys stick with us and check out all our coverage this year. Give Ryan Talbot a follow, my main man, my sidekick. Been a big UFC fan too, so we've been in contact for a while as well. So I'm looking forward to the season. Definitely stay with us next week. We'll be out at training camp, and see you then.